What just happened in the NFL world is truly amazing. Believe me when I say this, you won't believe what happened in Cleveland. Cam Ward, the highly touted rookie quarterback who was picked first overall in the draft, just had to face the harsh truth that maybe, just maybe, the league got it completely wrong. And now he's talking about Shedeur Sanders' performance, which was so amazing that it has everyone questioning everything they thought they knew about this year's quarterback class. The NFL is going through some pretty amazing things right now. We're seeing history happen right in front of us, and the drama around these two new quarterbacks is getting to levels that no one saw coming. The stress, the rivalry, and the show of it all. This is the kind of plot that makes the NFL the best show on earth, and we're here for every second of it. And let me tell you everything that just happened. This story is much bigger than just one game. This is about legacy, draft decisions that could hurt teams for decades, and two very talented young men who are making their own marks on NFL history in very different ways. Get ready, because we're about to dive deep into one of the most exciting and controversial storylines of the NFL season. Something very special happened in Cleveland. Something that has people all over the league doing double takes and frantically pulling up draft boards to figure out how everyone got this so wrong. Shedeur Sanders, the son of NFL great and current Colorado head coach Deion Sanders, didn't just play well. He blew away expectations and put on a show that people will talk about for years to come. This is a statement game. The kind of performance that makes general managers wake up in a cold sweat, wondering how they let this guy get away. Sanders threw for more than 300 yards in his game. And here's the part that no one saw coming. He became the first rookie quarterback in Cleveland Browns history to throw for more than 300 yards. Take a moment to let that sink in. The Cleveland Browns, a team that has been around since the beginning of professional football, had never seen a rookie quarterback do what Shedeur Sanders just did. That's not just great, it's legendary. That's the kind of statistical success that will be remembered forever. The kind of achievement that makes a career and sets the great apart from the good. This story isn't just about Shedeur Sanders setting records and making history, though. This is the other side of the coin. It's about Cam Ward, the quarterback who was supposed to be the next big thing, and the guy that teams were fighting over to draft first overall. Ward had to respond to Sanders' amazing performance, which was not a good place for him to be. Everyone is talking about, analyzing, and arguing about what he said in his post-game press conference and what it means for these two young quarterbacks and their futures. Before we get into what Ward said, let's talk about the big issue that no one in the mainstream media wants to talk about directly. Fans, analysts, and even some people who work for the NFL are starting to think that the draft order might have been completely wrong. More and more people are saying that Shedeur Sanders should have been the first overall pick instead of Cam Ward. We're talking about a mistake that could cost $53 million. The kind of mistake that can ruin the careers of both general managers and coaches. Take a moment to think about that. $53 million. That's not just cash. We're talking about wealth that lasts for generations. That's the difference between being the first pick and being picked later in the draft. Some people say that Sanders was completely robbed and that he was cheated out of the money he deserved just because of how good he is, how much he has done, and how much he could change the franchise. This is the kind of money that can change lives, families, and even whole communities. And if Sanders really was the better choice all along, then what we saw in the draft was one of the biggest mistakes in NFL history. But let's get to the part that everyone is really interested in. What did Cam Ward really say about Sanders' play? Did he throw shade? Did he treat you with respect? Did he admit what everyone else already knew? The answer is actually quite surprising, and it shows that Ward is mature and professional, which is something that should be praised. Ward stood at that podium in Cleveland, fresh off a game where he played well, but was overshadowed by Sanders' historic performance. Even though people were wondering if he should have been the top pick, he showed nothing but class. He talked about the game, how he played, and how his team won. And he did it all with the calmness of a pro, not a rookie who had just seen another quarterback from his draft class steal all the headlines and glory. That takes courage. That shows strength of character. No matter what side of the Ward versus Sanders debate you are on, you have to give him credit for handling a very tough situation with grace. You could hear the confidence in Ward's voice when he talked about moving guys off their spots in the run game and making plays in the passing game. You could also tell that he knew this wasn't just about him. He kept saying nice things about his offensive line, saying they were the reason his team won. He talked about how they stepped up, how they ran the base plays, and how they opened holes in the running game that let his team control the pace and flow of the game. This is what a quarterback would say. I know I wasn't perfect, but we worked together to win. That's the kind of attitude that wins championships in this league. But this is where things get really exciting. When you think about the fact that Sanders was playing at the same time as Ward's comments, they make more sense. Ward said that winning feels good, but then he quickly switched to talking about the mistakes, flaws, and areas where he and his team as a whole need to get better. He didn't just sit back and enjoy his success. He didn't act like everything was great just because his team won. Instead, he thought about it like someone who knows that the goal is to do well, not just win. And that's a very important difference that sets good players apart from great ones. The most interesting part was when Ward talked about how efficient he and his teams were. He talked about getting guys open, putting the ball in their range to make plays, and keeping the running game going. These may sound like common quarterback cliches, but when you look at what he's really saying, you can tell that he's a player who knows the ins and outs of the position better than most rookies do. He's talking about how to read defenses, how to place the ball, and how to use leverage and angles. This is a more advanced way of thinking about quarterbacks, and the fact that Ward is saying it so clearly shows that he's not just an athlete who can throw it. He is really studying the game and trying to learn the mental skills that set the best players apart from the rest. Ward talked in depth about certain plays from the game, going over man coverage situations and how running plays work against certain defensive looks. He praised his teammates and singled out a receiver who made a great play and another who got free for a key touchdown. He said that the offensive line should hold their blocks and make it easy for the team to score. Again, this is the kind of language that coaches love to hear from their quarterback because it shows that he knows that football is a team sport and not a one-man show. But then Ward said something that really got people's attention. This is a particular something that shows how honest he is with himself about how well he's doing. He said that they only played good enough football for 3 quarters, that the 4th quarter wasn't their best, and that as players, they need to set higher standards for themselves. This is a very grown-up way for a rookie quarterback to look at himself. Most young players would just be happy about winning and then move on. Ward is already thinking about the details, like how to keep up the high level of play for a full 60 minutes and how to avoid mistakes that can cost you games against better teams. Ward's praise for his special teams unit shows that he knows the whole game, not just the offensive side. He knew that special teams were a big part of the win, and that's the kind of awareness that experienced players have, not rookies who are usually only concerned with their own duties and stats. Ward is seeing the whole picture and how all 3 parts of the game work together and affect each other, and that's a sign that your football mind is growing. Now, this is where things get very real and very emotional. Ward said he would talk to Sanders after the game. 2 guys who came into the league at the same time and have been compared to each other over and over again. They will always be linked in NFL history because of their draft class and positions. Now they are coming together after making their own marks in their own ways. Ward told Sanders that he was there, that he was looking forward to seeing him keep going, that Sanders was going to keep making plays for Cleveland, and that he was a good quarterback and a friend. This is very classy. This is the best example of sportsmanship there is, and this is the kind of moment that makes us love this game in the first place. But we need to talk about the situation and the meaning that everyone is getting from these comments. Ward is basically admitting that Sanders is doing well, while also keeping his own confidence. He is walking a fine line between being respectful and competitive. It's a fine line, and one wrong word could have made this newsworthy or caused a media storm. Ward, on the other hand, handled it perfectly. He showed respect for a fellow rookie without downplaying his own accomplishments or his own confidence in his abilities. Ward kept talking about the game, saying that the defense gave the offense a lot of chances by putting them in good field position, which made for short fields that led to scoring chances. He stressed how important it is for all 3 phases of football to work together to make winning situations. The offense has to make the most of the defense's stops and the special team's good field position by scoring points. Ward understands. He knows how all the parts of a football team work together, and that knowledge will help him a lot in his career. But the most revealing part of Ward's whole press conference might have been when he was asked if he needed the win, if it was important for his mental state or confidence after whatever problems he might have had before. What he said was very revealing. He said he didn't really need it, that he treats wins and losses the same, that there's always something he can do better, and that he missed a lot of plays in the game that he needs to work on. He said he would do the same thing he did the week before when he woke up the next day, try to get better. This is how a professional thinks. They know that the process is more important than the results, that the only way to stay successful in the NFL is to keep getting better. Ward isn't letting the ups and downs of wins and losses get to him. He is focused on his work and on getting better every day. That's the exact way to get long-term success in this league. You can't go too high with the highs or too low with the lows. No matter what the score says, you need to stay calm, focused on getting better, and dedicated to the process. Ward even made a joke about getting hit and his shoulder, which shows that he can still find humor in the situation, even though he is under a lot of stress and pressure. He said, "At least they were accurate when they got him," making a joke about how they weren't accurate otherwise. For an NFL quarterback to be able to laugh and not take everything so seriously is very important. It's already a stressful job, so you don't need to be wound up all the time. You need to be able to laugh to let go of stress and keep things in perspective, and Ward can do that. Ward clearly stated both team and personal goals when asked about his plans for the future. This shows that he has a clear vision for a young player. He wanted defined as a group. He said that they want to win every game this season. That's clear, simple, and exactly what you want to hear from your quarterback. But what he wanted for himself was even more interesting. He wants to play football the way he knows how, which is the way he's always played it. He wants to keep being a gunslinger, taking risks, making plays, and not letting one bad play affect the next. He said that he had to deal with both the good and the bad, and that he shouldn't let things carry over from one play to the next. Ward is unique because he has this gunslinger mentality, but it's also what makes him dangerous. Gunslingers do amazing things, but they also do amazing things wrong. Ward's career will depend on whether he can keep that aggressive playmaking style while also learning how to make good decisions about when to take risks and when to play it safe. It's a tough line to walk, and many quarterbacks in NFL history have had trouble finding that balance. Ward stressed that he isn't the only one responsible for success, but if he is, he wants that responsibility. He wants to be the man. He wants to be the man and carry the weight of the franchise on his shoulders. That's how your quarterback should think. That willingness to take responsibility and blame when things go wrong, and give credit to teammates when things go well. Ward seems to know this instinctively, which is basic leadership. Ward brought up the topic of complementary football again, stressing how important it is for all three phases to work together for most of the game. He thanked the defense for stopping the other team, the special teams for making plays, and his receivers and running backs for doing their jobs and making plays. This constant giving credit to teammates and not wanting all the glory for himself is exactly what makes a championship culture, and the kind of team chemistry that leads to long-term success. Ward said that he wakes up every day with the right mindset to get better at the little things. He also said that he sees the bigger picture ahead and that wins or losses don't matter in terms of his own personal process. He has to get better every day, win or lose. He said that you can hide problems when you win, but when you lose, everything comes out. It's amazing that someone so young and new to the professional game is this self-aware and knows how to deal with the grind of an NFL season. Ward even said that this way of thinking started in high school, which shows that it's not something new or made up for the media. This is who he is and how he has always played football. That realness is important. Fans and teammates can tell when someone is being fake from a mile away. But when someone really wants to get better and really believes in the process, it connects with people and gets them to buy in. He ended by praising a veteran teammate, saying that he was a true professional and that rookies should look up to him. Ward said that this veteran has the right attitude, deals with all the off-field stuff that players have to deal with, and always stresses the importance of being there for your teammates and trying to be perfect. He stressed how important it is to have a next-play mindset, which means not dwelling on mistakes or getting too excited about successes. This shows that Ward is learning from the older players around him and taking in their knowledge and wisdom like a sponge. That's exactly what young quarterbacks need to do to get better faster. So, what does all of this mean for the big Cam Ward versus Shedeur Sanders argument? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? To be exact, it's the $53 million question. Sanders just had a historic performance that has people questioning every draft choice that led to Ward being picked first overall. The numbers in the tape don't lie. And now Sanders' name is in the record books for something no other rookie quarterback has ever done for the Cleveland Browns. Ward's response to all of this, on the other hand, showed that he is not scared, not discouraged, and not going to give up his spot as the #1 pick without a fight. He dealt with the situation with class and maturity. He gave credit where it was due and stayed focused on his own journey and improvement instead of getting caught up in comparisons and competitions with other quarterbacks from his draft class. The truth is that both of these young men are very talented. If they stay healthy and keep getting better, both will have long and successful careers in the NFL. And each one has its own strengths and qualities that make them good for the job. Sanders may have the name, the family history, and now the historical performance to back it up. But Ward has the draft spot, the contract, and most importantly, the work ethic and attitude to reach his full potential. What we're seeing happen is the start of what could be one of the best quarterback rivalries of our time. Think about the famous quarterback fights that have happened in the NFL over the years. Montana versus Marino, Manning versus Brady, and Mahomes versus everyone else right now. If both Ward and Sanders keep getting better and reach their full potential, their match could become one of the greats. The media will keep comparing them, fans will keep arguing about them, and they will keep pushing each other to do better just by being in the same draft class and going for the same awards and recognition. But more than all the numbers, all the arguments about draft positions and contracts, all the stories in the news and arguments between fans, this story is really about how beautiful competition is and how talented modern quarterbacks are when they join the NFL. These young men are more ready, more polished, and more able to help right away than ever before when they join the league. The systems for developing players at the college level have gotten a lot better. The coaching has improved, and the players are more dedicated to their sport than they used to be. Ward's reaction to Sanders' performance tells us everything we need to know about who he is and how he plays the game. He didn't make excuses, downplay Sanders' achievements, make it about himself, or try to steal the show. He just accepted the truth of the situation, showed respect to another competitor, and kept his mind on his own growth and journey. That's what you want from your franchise quarterback. That level of maturity and perspective that lets you deal with both good and bad times with the same level of grace. The truth is that Sanders' historic performance showed something very important. He showed that he fits in, that he's not just Deion's son riding on his father's coattails, but a real NFL quarterback who can make plays and break records at the highest level of football. He put an end to the doubts. He did better than expected, and he gave fans of the Cleveland Browns something they've wanted for a long time: hope that they finally have a good quarterback for their team. The piece that has been missing for them through many draft picks, free agent signings, and coaching changes. And Ward. Ward showed that he can handle the stress of being the first overall pick, the pressure that comes with that, and the comparisons to other quarterbacks from his draft class. He didn't fall apart because of Sanders' success. He didn't get angry or defensive, and he didn't lose sight of what's important: getting better every day and helping his team win football games. As this season goes on, and Ward and Sanders play more games, get more stats, and have more defining moments in their young careers, the debate will only get stronger. We will look at every touchdown pass. Every interception will be looked at closely. People on both sides of the debate about who should have been drafted first will use every win and loss as proof. It's going to be a lot of work. It won't stop, and it will be very interesting to see. But in the end, both of these young men are winners. They are living their dreams of being NFL quarterbacks. They're making a lot of money that will change their lives, and they get to compete at the highest level in their sport. While we eat snacks on our couches, the rest of us get to sit back and watch it all happen and argue about who is better. They get to really live it, feel the stress and excitement, and make memories and moments that will last a lifetime. So, let's give Cam Ward some credit for how he dealt with this. Give Shedeur Sanders credit for his historic performance, and give us all credit for being smart enough to see that this quarterback class is something special. Something that could change the NFL for the next 10 years or more. We can tell that these young men are going to be great players in the future. The story of Ward versus Sanders is just getting started, and whether we like it or not, we're all going to be a part of it. Every game will add new chapters, new events, and new arguments for both sides of the debate. That's what makes the NFL so interesting, so addictive, and so hard to stop watching, even when you know you should be doing something more useful with your time.